My name is what? My name is who? My name is Dyl Talks Sports. Let's get it. This is Dyl Talks Sports.
What's up, everybody? As the intro said, this is Dyl Talks Sports, and we are back with another episode. Today, this is going to be a Stanley Cup final preview as well as an NBA Finals preview. After the whole season, we're down to 4 teams, 2 in each sport. We got Oilers Panthers, which is a repeat Stanley Cup of last year, and Pacers Thunder, which for the first time in a while, besides the Nuggets winning the last 2 years ago, small market teams and more homegrown teams than the super teams that LeBron started. No matter what you hate or say, LeBron started the super team. So let's dive in first into the NBA Finals. Thunder Pacers. Thunder 68 wins during the regular season, number 1 seed in the West. MVP on their team, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren balling, Jalen Williams balling, both Jalen Williams balling, Caruso, just a pest out there. Gets away with a little bit more than I think most players do, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. So, I think it's going to be a hard-fought series. A lot of people aren't giving the Pacers a lot of chance. Oh, wait, I didn't give my Pacers breakdown. 4th seed, Pacers, Rick Carlisle, championship-winning coach, great coach. Don't ever know why the Mavericks let him go. Maybe he made Luka work a little bit too hard, and now Luka's gone, so it don't really matter. But anyways, Tyrese Halliburton, we know about him. Miles Turner, we know about him. But, Aaron Nesmith, TJ McConnell, Benedict Mathurin, Pascal Siakam. Siakam doesn't get the love he deserves, which we'll talk about him more in a little bit. But, they're a really good team that they play with a lot of heart, a lot of effort, a lot of speed. Fast break, a lot of first defense in the NBA. So a lot of people think it's going to be a blowout. I don't see it that way. Maybe so. Maybe the Nuggets were the only team that could have beat the Thunder. Based on what I saw out of the Timberwolves, it could be the case because the Timberwolves looked like world beaters and then they got smacked around and played like a bum. But, I don't think it's going to be as easy. I think the Pacers are, they've always been a tough team. Throughout the history of the Indiana Pacers, they've always been a tough team, good defensively, tough, hard-fought, hard-nosed team that you just don't want to play. That's going to hit you in your ass and make sure you feel them. So, I think the Thunder are the most talented team in the NBA. They got the most talent. They got more picks coming. The finesse that Sam Presti has as a GM is unbelievable. It should be studied by many, many generations because of how good, KD, Harden, Westbrook, Ibaka, tank, send them all away, tank, build, and now they're good again. First seed, 68 wins. Whether you like it or not, 68 wins, is unbelievable feat. So they're not going to be no slouch, but I think that if there's a team that could beat them in the East, it probably would have been the Pacers, just because they play fast, they play as a team, they play good defense. And I think, and as well as having a good coach. Good coaching goes a long way in the NBA. I know people still don't think that coaches really matter, but they do. No matter what you say, coaches matter. So unless you're LeBron, you get your coach fired every other year. But other than that, sorry, we're on a LeBron hate train right now. But anyways, let's dive into the game. So, SGA versus Tyrese Halliburton. You could probably say it's a wash on matchups. To be honest, as good as SGA is, I'd rather have Halliburton on my team simply based on the fact that he plays better as a point guard, true point guard. Pass the ball, rebounds the ball, steals, doesn't have a lot of turnovers. Shai's more of that score first kind of guard, more of like a shooting guard type of style. But no disrespect to Shai. He won MVP this year. Was it deserved? I don't know. You could say so. They won 68 games, but his plus minus is better when he's off the floor. So take what you want with that. The team plays better without him on the floor. And people are going to say, oh, plus minus doesn't matter. People that say plus minus doesn't matter, they fucking suck. Is the team better with you on the floor or worse? Simple. It's a simple game. Everyone else in the MVP race, they were really net negative when they're off the floor. But Shai is the exact opposite. So, and the thing with Shai is when he hoops, when he wants to just hoop and not foul bait, he's a really good hooper. He's really, he's got that strong arm, that strong little jab, shoulder up, and he can hoop. I mean, if he doesn't foul bait the whole game, he's got great moves. He's got great, shot making ability, 3-pointers, everything like that. But just sometimes he gets in this foul bait and shit, and it's annoying as fuck. But anyways, back to Halliburton, man. Halliburton, the beautiful thing about Halliburton's game is he can have a game where he goes 4.6 assists, and then he'll have a game where he goes 40 points, 20 assists. Like, the duality of man is the best way to say that about that. So I think that's really a wash. I think Halliburton, honestly, in my opinion, would have the edge. I think he's a better player. I think he's a better point guard. I think he's a better leader. And that's not to say that Shai's not a good leader. I don't know his leadership. I'm just saying, as a pure point guard, pass first, get the ball moving, get the offense going. I want Tyrese Halliburton. Next for the two, that's pretty easy. I think Jalen Williams, the most underrated player in the NBA, has been for a couple of years now. He's always been a consistent player, consistent hooper, and continuously does good. And I think it's going to be a tough matchup for the Pacers, honestly. I think that's the tough matchup there is going to be him because he's really, really good. But on the other end of that, I think Siakam on the Pacers is the X factor. He's a champion. He's a champion, no matter what you say. He's a playoff riser. He always does better in the playoffs. And this postseason, he's proven that. He's been a really good player. He some games been better than Halliburton. He's probably this year top 7 in the playoffs based on what I've watched and what I've seen from him. Just a consistent game, great well post game, just a consistent basketball player, got basketball moves, basketball skill. Doesn't really rely on his athleticism, relies on his size, a little bit of strength, but if you got it, use it, right? So that's the matchup there. I mean, Hardenstein versus Miles Turner, I think it's kind of a wash. I think they're both, really good for their team. They both do things well. They both do things not so well. But Miles Turner, I think, as defensively, and Hardenstein has the edge offensively, just based on what I've seen. But I really think the matchup's there. I think the matchup's pretty consistent from 1 to 5. I mean, Thunder have the number 1 offense in the NBA. I know that, and the Pacers have number 1 defense. But if you watch the Pacers, they get up the floor quickly, they move, they do this, they go quick. They don't mess around. There's no standing around. They're going to keep making it go and push and give you the pressure and continue to do that. So, I want to say I think the Pacers could win. I really, I like the Pacers a lot. I like what I've seen from them this year in the postseason, but I just can't go against the Thunder, man, based on what I've seen. The only team that was impressed me against the Thunder was the Nuggets, and unfortunately the Nuggets lost, and, there's probably 2 fourth quarters away from being in the NBA Finals. Like I said, that was the finals right there. I mean, if that doesn't prove how good the Nuggets are or how good Jokic is, when MPJ was hurt, Aaron Gordon was hurt, and they just they had no bench, and they almost beat the Thunder, who had 68 wins and ran through the Western Conference Finals. I don't think I can trust your basketball opinion, to be honest with you. So, I think it's going to be Thunder in 6. That's what I think. I think it's going to be 4-2 Thunder. I hope they prove me wrong, the Pacers, but I haven't seen enough from the Pacers. I think the Thunder have been battle tested in the West. I think the West is a better conference, and I don't think the East, what you're going to see in the East is a lot different, especially from the Knicks and the Thunder kind of run. So it's going to be consistent. It's going to be a game. It's going to be a battle, and I'm excited to watch all the series and see what happens there. But that's my prediction. Thunder in 6. Let's ride with it. Now, let's flip the page and go to the NHL. Stanley Cup playoffs. Oilers, Panthers. Repeat finals from last year. Panthers won in 7. I think they were up 3-1, and then they got to 7, and they prevailed in 7. But unfortunately this year, fortunately enough, this year I'm going to go with the Oilers. I think it's Connor McDavid's year. I think he's poised. I think he's ready. Chris Knobloch, 2 years as a head coach in the NHL, 2 Stanley Cup Finals appearances. Hopefully he'll get a cup this year. But, for everyone that's thinking the Oilers, easy win, I'd be hard-pressed to say not. I think the Panthers are better than they were last year. Adding Brad Marchand to the third line, when Brad Marchand's been a contributor, a player at a high level for the Boston Bruins for how many years, I think that addition is very helpful. I think Sergei Bobrovsky is a better goaltender than Skinner. I think Skinner's been playing a lot better, though, after he got benched in the first series, and the last 2 series been playing a lot better, showing why he should be starting and why he's a good, consistent starter in the NHL. But, I just think the Oilers, I think they learned a lot last year about themselves and about, hockey and how to do it. And I think McDavid's ready, man. I think Leon Drysdale, of course, he's a great player. And, but Panthers aren't going to go away easy. I mean, the Panthers are a really, really good team. There's a reason they were in the Stanley Cup final 2 years ago. There's a reason they won last year, and there's a reason they're in it again this year. They're a good team, and they've only gotten better, consistently better. They got a great coach. They got a great system. Matthew Tkachuk's a great player. Like I said, they got Bobrovsky, got a bunch of really good players. I mean, they kind of, surprised a lot of people in the East. I didn't really think, anything of it this year because they weren't, top seeded like they were last year. But they're a good team, man, and they're a force to be reckoned with. I'd be very hard pressed to say that they don't have a chance. I mean, I'm going to go with the Oilers just because I think it's their year. And I hate to say it's their year, like, they deserve it, whatever. I say about Josh Allen too. But no, I just think they're a good team. They got the experience they needed last year in the playoffs or in the Stanley Cup finals, and this year they prevail. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go Oilers in 7. I'm still going to go 7 games. I think it's going to be a hard-fought series. But it wouldn't. This is one that wouldn't surprise me if it went the Panthers' way. I just think they're a really good team, really good system. Consistently been there, consistently know what's going on, and at that point, it's tough to even know what's going on. So, the thing with the Panthers is their defense has only gotten better over the course of the playoffs. Their offense has only gotten better. You can say the same thing about the Oilers because they've gotten consistently better over the course of the playoffs too. They beat some really hard teams in the West. That honestly, for a while there, they kind of looked like they were not poised to do it again and make up for it. But they won a lot of their series pretty handily. I mean, again, beating the Stars, I think the Stars were the second best team. If the Avalanche would have won, which I think they should have as well. I think it should have been Avalanche, Oilers in the Western Conference Finals. But that's the way the puck rolls or slides or whatever you want to call it. So, it's a consistent. It's a tough thing to see. Again, we're gonna go Oilers in 7, Thunder in 6. But I think there's nothing better than for the NBA playoffs to be 2 small market teams as well as. I mean, you could say what you want about NHL. I mean, Edmonton's a smaller market, and Miami's not really. I mean, I know it's Sunrise, but it's Miami. So, but it's good for the game of hockey. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't hate that the Panthers are in again. I like the Panthers, and I like the Oilers. I think either way, I'm going to be happy. Same with the NBA. So, we're going to see what happens there. I'm really excited. I know the hockey. Did the hockey start already? I'm looking right now. Let's see. Did it start? I think it starts at 7. And then I know that the NBA, okay, no, so it starts today. So it starts at 7. So really excited to be locked in for that. Just want to get this video out before the game. So, I don't have any bias towards what's going to happen. But we're going to ride with the Oilers, man. I think it's going to be a good game tonight. I think the Oilers come out and surprise them and get that first win are they on the road? No, they're home. Oh, perfect. Okay, well. Okay, so they're home. So they get that first home win that's going to be consistent and matter throughout the series. I know the Panthers were home last year, or the higher seed, so they got home ice. But we're going to see what happens. It's going to be a really good game. I'm really excited to see what happens and kind of go from there. So, I guess lastly, let's hop into the French Open. We're in the quarterfinals were today, so I think we're in the semifinals. So we in the men's we have of course Joker and Yannick Sinner. And then we have Alcaraz and who's on the bottom? Tommy Paul? Is that who's on the bottom? I think Tommy Paul's on the bottom. Tennis. Open brackets. So, no, it's Musetti. My bad. Musetti, my Italian brother. We got 2 Italian brothers in the semifinals. Let's go. So, Djokovic versus Sinner. I think that's going to be a really, really good match. Man, I love how Djokovic is playing, man. But Sinner the cheater with the steroids, he's just so good. But you know what? I'm gonna stay riding with my boy Djokovic in that one. And unfortunately, we're gonna go with an upset in that one. We're gonna go with Musetti over Alcaraz. I think Alcaraz probably is gonna win that just because his mentor Rafael Nadal, the king of French Open, king of the clay, as we like to call him. But I just want some parity. I think Djokovic. I know he's coming up at the end of his career, but I think he has a few more Grand Slams in him. And I think this is one of them. I think this is one of the majors he's going to win. And we'll see what happens there. When the next matches are when? Saturday? I'm looking forward to those. Friday. So, we'll see what happens there. I think those are going to be two really, really good matches. I think that's kind of what happened in the semifinals. It's perfect for that, and go from there. And then in the women's, we got Sabalenka versus Iga, and we got Elle Boysen, who I never heard of, versus Coco Gauff. I think that's easy. I got to ride with Coco. I got to ride with my Americans. And then in the Sabalenka Swiatek, I think I got to ride with Sabalenka. Ever since she's gotten her consistent swing, her consistent kind of play. She's one of the. She says she's the strongest girls tennis player ever, even stronger than Serena. And I think she's been showing that over the last couple of years with all her major wins and her continuously winning. So in the women's side, I'm going to stay with Sabalenka. I think Sabalenka wins it all. I think she's the best women's tennis player. And yeah. So this was Dyl Talks Sports. I know it's going to go black because of the video, but that was what it is. I appreciate y'all. Keep chasing your dream. Keep believing, and God bless. Deuces.